Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Olajide Bello. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Now let's start from the agricultural sector. Attracted by the numerous potential of Renewed Hope Initiative's agricultural support programs, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security says it is set to adopt and operate some of the interventions, particularly Every Home a Garden competition, as government programs. Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security Aliu Sabi Abdullahi said these after attending the 2024 fourth quarterly meeting of Renewed Hope Initiative State Coordinators with Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, in the villa.
If you look at the Every Home a Garden, it will amaze you how many people are being inspired to have their own garden. So this is what I'm doing, just to have people to do what I do. And then if you are a leader and then you want people to follow, you have to set a good standard. And that's the standard I'm doing.
Okay, yes. Because right now you all agree that, yes, the food security challenge we are facing is precarious. And we are learning a lot. One of the things is that every home, for example, represents a secure location as much as possible. So when you have some small farming taking place there, whatever is produced there, is secure. So when you encourage that and you are having millions of Nigerians having that, I think we are contributing to sustainable food security. So as a ministry, we are not just, this is not a one-off. We see this as an opportunity, and we are taking this opportunity hands-on. We are going to make sure it's institutionalized. We have a budget line. But based on what we have come out with now, haven't done all the processes and whatever, about 68 million will be going to each of the states. So, and when we are sending it, of course, each of these projects have the various components. So we'll be sending along with a schedule that will tell them for the first one, the women empowerment, training and women empowerment, whatever the amount is, for the young farmers, whatever is there, for the Every Home a Garden, and then the Young Farmers Club.
And away from agriculture, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wosinjak, says the success of the Renewed Hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is hinged on the critical role of civil service and its ability to plan, implement and monitor government initiatives effectively and efficiently. Didi Wosinjak said these at the meeting of National Council of Establishment held at Ede, Osun State. Femi Afariogun has the details.
At the 46th National Council on Establishment, policymakers, civil service leaders and stakeholders from across the country gathered to shape the country's public service. The meeting will be the first for the head of service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Wosinjak, and she emphasized the council's role in steering reforms aimed at creating more responsive and adaptable public service.
To the esteemed heads of service, I urge you to champion a culture where innovation and actionable ideas flow freely and inclusively, impacting every level of our service.
I've always held the public service in high esteem and view technocrats as partners in the ways of progress of this administration.
I commend the dedication of all stakeholders in advancing the framework and policies that guide our esteemed civil service.
As the Council continues its sessions, the discussions are expected to further outline practical steps for implementing initiatives that will ensure effective civil service in all states of the Federation. From Ede in Osun State, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
The 7 newly appointed ministers have been urged to uphold a high level of patriotism, dedication and diligence towards the actualization of the broad vision of the current administration for the country and its people. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, at an induction retreat for the new ministers, encouraged them to shun personal, ethnic and sectional interest to uphold national cohesion that will promote peace for national unity and development. Kenneth Nanim reports.
For the current administration to deliver good governance to Nigerians as promised, much lies on the shoulders of the appointees. With this in mind, the new ministers are settling down to hit the ground running. Here they are getting themselves well acquainted with the development plans and strategies already charted for adequate implementation of the 8 priority areas in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government.
The primary purpose of this retreat is to foster a deep understanding of the operational principles, challenges, and expectations that define your responsibilities as ministers.
Entrusted with the mandate of driving the agenda for development, stability, and growth in their sectors, they also need to be well equipped with the insights and guidance necessary for effective performance in the federal government's priority and aspirations.
And they should avoid any semblance of affluence and quest for material things. That way, if they operate on these tenets, they will come out fine and they will be able to deliver.
We have our national security, which is core. We have our food security. Our agriculture is important. Our power sector is core to enabling industrialization. We have priorities among priorities, but indeed, all those 8 priorities are core to Mr. President in ensuring he meets the renewed hope agenda.
There is also the need for the new ministers to understand their roles and align with the goals of the administration to navigate the regulatory frameworks, finance and procurement processes.
Data is very important. Once we have data, we have geospatial distribution of poverty. We can share this data with the state government, with local government, with the private sector, international partners, so that individuals also can intervene. Intervention must be holistic.
They are also expected to promote a culture of integrity within their ministries, as well as uphold the highest standards of ethics and accountability. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Kogi State government's efforts towards addressing climate change impacts through agro-climatic resilience and semi-arid landscape projects appraisal are yielding results and receiving acceptance by the people. This is coming on the heels of a recent inspection of gully rehabilitation projects across the 3 senatorial districts of Kogi by a delegation from the World Bank and the National Implementation Team of Appraisal. Jonathan Omajale reports that the delegation expressed satisfaction with the state's initiatives in ensuring food security.
These women groups are beneficiaries of the community revolving funds who have used such funds to empower themselves with this cassava value chain and processing center.
Who are seen here today is a benefit to us, not just with the member, but the entire community, because in the past, they don't know that you can process maize into semo locally.
You have shown what we treat as ownership of investment. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't support you to take this forward.
I'm not telling lies. Follow me to my farm and see what they are up to.
Initially, when the rain falls, you have a crisis. Now, there's nothing like that.
The excitement written on the faces of the beneficiaries actually gives us satisfaction that this project is on course.
Nigerian government initiative, World Bank supported, but community-focused and people-oriented describe the kind of intervention being carried out here by Agrisol in Okene. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Sorry about that mix-up. That report was actually by Charles Alpha. Moving on, federal government says it is adopting a holistic approach in addressing recurring incidents of grid collapse in the power sector. The assurance is coming from the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, as the Investigative Committee on Frequent Incidents of Grid Collapse submits its report. Correspondent Joshua Ojito reports that the short-term recommendations are expected to be implemented within the next 6 months to stabilize the grid.
We need to test those equipment, particularly at the critical nodes. We start from there. And then we should develop framework and adopt reliability-centered maintenance, replacement of aged and obsolete equipment, and enhance SCADA and telecommunication tools, develop and implement measures to combat vandalization and energy theft.
And the recommendations are practical recommendations, realistic recommendations that are implementable and I believe will bring an end to this ugly trend. The issue of grid collapse should be a thing of the past.
And away from the power sector, the Defense Space Administration vows to continue to promote national security while safeguarding Nigeria's cyberspace and support military operations, leveraging its expertise in cybernetic space technology. Air Vice Marshal Larry Ibrahim Oluwatoyin said this during an oversight visit by the House Committee on Defense. National Assembly correspondent Isa Muhammad reports.
Vice Marshal Larry Oluwatoyin says defense space threatens the cyberspace capabilities of the Nigerian Armed Forces in ensuring they remain effective.
The DSA mission is to support the Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agencies with relevant space products and solutions necessary for the conduct of our operation in peace and wartime, in line with the National Space Policy and Program.
In support of these security goals, the House has introduced innovative legislation aimed at revolutionizing and funding the Nigerian defense sector.
This, he explains, will enhance military space technology in combat crimes and improve intelligent gathering capabilities. The committee further assures DSA of adequate legislative provisions to support and enable it perform its role effectively and efficiently to safeguard the territorial integrity of the nation. In Abuja, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
The federal government says it is partnering with development partners to deepen financial inclusion critical to achieving inclusive participation in its social investment programs. At a workshop organized by the Office of the Technical Advisor to the President on Financial Inclusion and Development Partners, Deputy Chief of Staff to the President Ibrahim Hadija reaffirms the federal government's commitment to implement the ASO Accord Act on Economic and Financial Inclusion. Musa Abubakar reports.
Nigeria's financial inclusion may have risen to 64% in 2023 from 54% in 2022. The target for the federal government is to close the gap through deliberate actions, including partnerships. This workshop, organized by the Technical Advisor to the President on Economic and Financial Inclusion and Partnership for Learning for All in Nigeria, PLAIN, focus on improving funding for non-state schools and enhancing financial inclusion and support while fostering financial literacy.
The majority of those who have been identified as requiring these programs are not financially included. So we need to work very closely with stakeholders, humanitarian affairs, to ensure that we ramp up the pace of extending financial inclusion.
Is in line with the present administration's agenda to brainstorm and see what are the areas, how we can do alignment of our strategy to support this financial inclusion.
This initiative seeks to empower communities and build a future where every child has access to quality education. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Now let's head over to the Center of Excellence where Michael Olaya is standing by with more stories. Hello, Michael. Good to see you.
You Olajide, and thanks for joining us in Lagos. The telecom industry is evolving, and for justice to be delivered effectively in the sector, judicial officers need to be abreast of the development. This is why the Nigerian Communications Commission, in conjunction with the National Judicial Institute, organized a workshop for judges and legal officers on legal issues in the telecommunications industry. Bolaji Akim, who attended the event in Lagos, reports.
With the mandate given to the Nigerian Communications Commission as enshrined in the National Communication Act of 2003, which include an oversight of a regulatory framework for the Nigeria communication industry, there is need for judges and legal officers to be abreast of events in the digital communications. That is why this workshop is organized. Chief Justice of the Federation, who was represented by the Honorable Justice Jumai and Natu Sanke, explained that judges need to be equipped with knowledge of emerging trends in the digital communication industry to enable them handle such issues effectively.
The increased risk of the personal data of consumers being misused or compromised by unscrupulous persons, thus necessitating the need for improved strategies and innovation for the consumer protection in the telecommunications sector.
With the team, the role of Judiciary in accelerating digital framework in Nigeria, Executive Vice Chairman of Nigerian Communications Commission explained that telecommunications has suffered serious damages from vandals as well as illegal tampering of telecom infrastructure. Hence, the need to have a judicial framework that will protect the infrastructure for the industry to contribute maximally to the nation's digital economy.
We anticipate that the courts may occasionally receive requests for orders to grant exceptions to the protection afforded to these critical national information infrastructures. During this workshop, we aim to provide insights that will support judicial discretion in evaluating such requests.
The workshop, among other things, will also afford participants to come out with skills that will drive Nigeria's telecom industry forward. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has charged craftsmen in the state to embrace innovation, be diligent and committed to making positive impact in their various fields. The governor, who gave the charge at the graduation ceremony of 1,200 upskilled tradesmen and artisans in Lagos, also announced the increase of monthly subvention for the State's Council of Tradesmen and Artisans. Joy Ken Abakoya reports.
The upskilled tradesmen and artisans training by the Lagos State Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment is to empower beneficiaries with technical skills to enhance efficiency in their chosen fields.
A total number of 7,400 artisans and tradesmen have been upskilled, while 4,900 beneficiaries have been empowered with working tools and giving grants to aid their businesses.
Today, we not only celebrate these graduates, we also recognize the essential roles they will play in building a brighter future of our Lagos and beyond.
After 8 weeks of intensive training in various vocations, including fashion designing, tiling and mechanical and electrical engineering, these 1,200 Nigerians are ready to face the world.
Through this program that Lagos give us, we have learned a lot of things. A little thing that is affecting our job that doesn't make it profit much.
I believe it's open more opportunities for us because they give us a lot of training in an advanced way.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says with the exponential growth of technology globally, training and retraining are necessary for craftsmen. He charged beneficiaries to make good use of their startup equipment and become employers of labor.
You have worked hard and you have shown that determination brings about success. You are part of the future that we see in Lagos. You are creative, you are hardworking, and always looking forward to new ways of doing things.
The 800 artisans and 400 tradesmen were drawn from the 3 senatorial districts of Lagos State. Joy Ken Abakoya, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Abuja after this break. Do stay.
Thanks for being there. As the National Integrated Measles and Oral Polio Vaccination Campaign progresses, the Plateau State Government Healthcare Board says it is working hard to ensure that the state is delisted from amongst 18 high-risk states with 0-dose children. Deyabagyang has the details.
The National Program on Integrated Measles and Polio Vaccination Campaign, going on simultaneously in 18 states in the country, is to eliminate incidences of 0-dose children. In Plateau State, the incidence is most prevalent in 4 local government areas of Kanam, Kwampang, Shandam, and Wasi. As part of efforts to tackle this health challenge, Plateau has joined other states to vaccinate targeted 1,300,000 children with polio vaccine and 888,000 with measles vaccines.
Presently in Plateau State too, there has been support from
National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and partners supporting those LGAs with zero-dose children. And there have been mass vaccination ongoing.
Though inadequate human resource, cultural beliefs, and hard-to-reach rural areas still pose a challenge, the state government, in collaboration with development partners, are working hard to surmount the challenges in Jos, Ndenyan, and the Abuja, NTA.
And our correspondent, Caleb Gochin, is in Jos to provide more updates. Caleb, what's the level of mobilization for this exercise in the local government areas?
All right, Olajide, thank you very much for coming to us in Jos. The mobilization, honestly, it's good. The personnel are there. I spoke with some of my colleagues this morning, those who have young, children, and it's confirmed that the personnel are going around and ensuring that children are vaccinated. So the mobilization is good. Just like you heard on our story, the officers are also up and doing. So the state is ready. The state really wants to ensure that nobody is left out. So the mobilization is positive.
All right, Caleb, in the course of the report, two major challenges were highlighted, and that is religious beliefs and hard to get to areas. What is the state government doing in that regard?
Yes, I think what the state government is trying to do is to ensure that the leaders at the grassroots are able to mobilize their people, especially the health personnel that are there, to come in to ensure that these people are not left out. So everything is being done to ensure that everybody comes on board to make sure that the exercise is a success. So local government chairmen, local government, stakeholders have been contacted. They have been told to do all that they could to ensure that these children, these people are not left out of the exercise. So wherever it is, the hard-to-go areas, they are being considered. So everything is in order, trying to ensure that these people are reached, no matter how difficult the terrain, no matter how difficult the landscape is. Plateau with its rocky nature, but then those who are from those areas are taking, the responsibility to ensure that they go out and reach their people with these vaccines. So everything is being done, and I'm sure that our people, nobody is going to be left out in all this.
All right, then many thanks, correspondent Caleb Gochin from Jos for that update. Moving on, it's a world virtually driven by technology, and how can an African woman be neck deep in this digital transformation agenda? Gender advocates who are deliberating on this at the ongoing 2024 Africa Women's Conference in Lusaka, Zambia, staunchly emphasize that this is undoubtedly a pathway to meeting global targets for inclusivity in economic development and equal opportunity. Olusheye Adiagbo reports.
While African countries are quite outstanding in digital finance, over 400 million people on the continent, mostly women, still don't have access to digital financial services.
So sing a song for women everywhere.
Important insights of women's digital inclusion informed the theme of this year's conference, Digital Advancement Harnessing Its Potential for African Women.
About the need for us to have inclusivity, bridge digital gap, particularly as it concerns women, because that is the only way that women can be empowered, truly show this huge potential that is being deposited in them, which is why AWC thought it wise to come and discuss more about digital advancement for women.
Africa as a whole, based on the work at Pan-African Parliament, we are moving together because we've come up with some
model laws that are expected to be adopted across the African continent in how we shall handle, this digital space and take the maximum advantage from it.
We're hoping that at the end of this program, we'll be able to develop cost-saving and fast-tracking innovations that women can also benefit from and be able to join into the information superhighway.
Through interactions like these ones, people exchange ideas country by country, and so we use this opportunity like an opportunity to learn.
In the last 8 years, the African Women Conference, an initiative of Helpline Social Support Initiative, a Nigerian-based non-government organization, and ECHO's African Initiatives, New York, has been a platform for robust dialogues, betting, productive partnerships, and gender policy options on women and girl child in the region. From Lusaka, Zambia, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
80 more communities in Kogi State are to benefit from the Community Revolving Fund of the federal government's agricultural project, which has the sole objective of empowering and lifting more women and their household from poverty. Charles Alpha reports that the Implementation Support Mission to Kogi State and Akriso also inspected the erosion control project in the area. Charles Alpha reports.
Intervention by the federal government agricultural project, supported by the World Bank and the Kogi State government, is providing relief while also restoring hope again to the people of the area.
I could still remember about 2 or 3 years ago, along this side, if you see, there's no vehicle cannot pass, vehicle cannot come because of the water.
The drainage you are constructing, I can see a positive change. It's good, better than before.
The existing or the former drainage is not as high as this. I know by the end of this project, at least we will laugh last.
What is happening is to see how to restore the degraded land and also heal the gully through not just concrete work, but using bioremediation.
I must commend His Excellency, the Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Usman Ahmed Ododo, for the good work he's doing, especially the gully rehabilitation.
Akrisel and World Bank, in a bid to lift more women from poverty, invested huge amounts of money in women in the area through the Community Revolving Fund initiative. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, is strengthening its engagement with the social media community to raise awareness on data protection and piracy across Nigeria. Speaking in Abuja, the National Commissioner of NDPC, Vincent Olatuji, announced that the commission is reaching out to prominent social media influencers like Enioluwa Adeoluwa to support federal government's efforts in promoting data protection by leveraging influencers' platform. The NDPC aims to counter information, reduce the spread of fake news, address hate speech, and combat various forms of cyberbullying, with around 40 million Nigerians active on social media daily. This initiative emphasizes the need for data collectors and processors to strictly adhere to established data protection guidelines.
Because there are a lot of misconceptions about the activities of government in Nigeria. We don't know that so many things are going on, and we don't really bring this one to where people probably understand you. They will assume that we are not doing anything.
Through these partnerships, the NDPC seeks to ensure that individual and corporate data remains safeguarded from unauthorized access, underscoring its ongoing commitment to data privacy in Nigeria. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says arrangements are being concluded to project the nation's aviation sector to the global market to attract more investment in the sector towards improving the nation's growth and development. The minister said this while unveiling the master plan for hosting first ever Nigeria's International Air Show. Aliu Kabir reports.
The Nigerian International Air Show is a global conference set to bring together the global stakeholders in the aviation and aerospace development Addressing media on the preparation ahead of the conference, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, explains that the three-day conference is expected to take place in Lagos within the first quarter of 2025. He says it is a platform for the convergence of the aviation global industry players, regulators, aircraft manufacturers and operators, among others.
And it's a place where people also cross-pollinate ideas too, the very modern ideas regarding aviation, in the field of aviation. Some of the biggest names in aviation will be coming to Nigeria. They'll be displaying their services, displaying their products also. It is intended to project Nigeria as the place where the next big things will happen in aviation in Africa.
He stated that the entire program speaks volumes to the nation's quest of reshaping the economy, encapsulated in the renewed hope agenda of the present administration. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Over now to Kemi in Ibadan for more stories nationwide. Good afternoon, Kemi.
Good afternoon, Olajide, and welcome to Ibadan. The federal government, through the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority, NNRA, is strategizing to reduce youth unemployment through skills acquisition. More than 100 youths in Ibadan benefited from the training program by NNRA in collaboration with other stakeholders. Grace Ayolike has the details.
In keeping with the federal government's intervention programs to address poverty, unemployment and other social issues, the workshop is to equip the youth with entrepreneurship skills to enable them contribute to national development. In a message, the Director General, Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority, Idris Yao, emphasized the agency's commitment to continue to bridge the gap of unemployment and scale up sustainable ventures for Nigerian youth.
You tend to become motivated, and you could also, try to incorporate one or two extra curriculum, or even during the empowerment, know specifically what the needs of those youths are.
So we are trying to enlighten them and then see how they can tap into these opportunities and then make some livelihood for themselves.
Participants are of the view that the knowledge acquired from the training will add value to them for a prosperous future.
It teaches people to harness resources, to network and make life better for themselves.
If it continues this way, a lot of Nigerian youth are going to benefit very well.
I grew up in this neighborhood and I don't think we've ever had something like this in this environment.
The training focused practical skills in video production, graphic design, web design, online importation and business skills. In Ibadan, Grace Ayonleke, NTA News.
The Nigeria Customs Service has pledged to continue to work with other security agencies to ensure safety across the country. The Oyo Customs Controller, Dr. Ben Oramalugo, stated these when he received the Garrison Commander, 2 Division Nigerian Army at Customs Command. Lukman Hassan has the report.
Dr. Ben Oramalugo explained that the Nigerian Customs Service has always worked with the Nigerian Army to safeguard the country's border from influx of all forms of illegal weapons and custom-restricted goods into the country.
So we are here to collaborate. Control of some borders in Oyo, and it's a very huge area between Nigeria and Benin. It's about 703 kilometers. It's a very huge area. So we need the cooperation of Army, especially when we are being bombarded by these smugglers. We normally call on them.
On his part, the Garrison Commander, 2 Division Brigadier General Haruna Desuki, noted that they were in the Oyo Ocean Customs Command to further strengthen and work together towards protecting Nigeria and supporting the activities of the Nigerian Customs Service in the command.
Solicit their support. Now we work in synergy with all security agencies, so there is need for that interaction to continue so that we can all achieve our mandates.
They also called on Nigerians to support the effort of security agencies in the country so that they can achieve their various objectives. In Ibadan, Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
That's it from Ibadan. Nationwide will continue with Olajide in Abuja after this break. Do stay with us.
Many thanks for being there. The Federal Road Safety Corps has urged commuters to caution reckless drivers as more passengers die during road crashes than drivers. Sector Commander FRC Benue State Command Steve Ayodele stated this during a press briefing in Makodi as part of activities marking the Ember Month campaign. Blessing Amechi has details.
Up to ensure a smooth traffic flow, reduce road crashes and create a safer motoring environment during the Ember months, the Federal Road Safety Corps Benue State Command has lined up activities to this end. The press briefing by the Sector Commander FRSC Benue State Command, Steve Ayodele, is to detail the measures to be taken by the command, which include mobilization of more operatives, establishment of mobile courts, among others.
These strategies arose from the need to engage passengers and encourage them to assert their rights, thereby curbing drivers' excesses, because it is on record that more passengers are killed in road traffic crashes than drivers.
There was also a road show by the FRSC Benue State Command to major motor parks in Makodi Metropolis.
You are always there when the need arises. You are always there to train us. You are always there to educate us, and you are always there to give us a proper orientation.
The theme for the campaign is Speak Up Against Dangerous Driving. Crashes kill more passengers than drivers. In Makodi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA.
Without peace, it will be impossible to amicably resolve the myriad of interstate boundaries disputes across the country. The Director General of the Nigerian Boundary Commission, Adamu Adaji, emphasized fees in Abuja at a forum to advance conversations among stakeholders on the Abia-Akwa Ibom boundary disputes. Kelvin Eonwaye reports.
Abia-Akwa Ibom interstate boundary spans hundreds of kilometers at the Ini local government in Akwa Ibom and Ikoano local government in Abia State. It is one of the most volatile boundaries with several crises in the past, which resulted in the suspension of work in the tracing and field work by officials of the NBC since 2014. Following breakthrough in talks brokered by the NBC, the groundwork for continuation of the tracing have been laid. This meeting, attended by delegations from both states, is to further advance discussion and iron out contentious areas to enable the tracing and other activities to go on unhindered.
It is not intended for us to sit down and resolve the boundary problem. It's for us to sit down, look at the issues, identify and agree that yes, there are issues that need to be sorted out, and jointly agree on the path to follow towards fast-tracking the resolution process.
Recommendations emanating from these stakeholders' engagement are expected to guide the NBC in resolving the dispute to foster lasting peace and development in the boundary communities. In Abuja, Kelvin Eonwaye, NTA News.
The federal government is set to launch a comprehensive set of minimum academic standards aimed at enhancing the quality of secondary education across Nigeria. In line with these efforts, the National Senior Secondary School Education Commission, NSSEC, recently held an advocacy meeting with the Nigeria Police Force Education Unit to discuss the standards adoption and enforcement. Executive Secretary of NSSEC, Dr. Yela Ajayi, explains that the meeting seeks to inform the police education unit about the upcoming standards, which are designed to provide a consistent and a rigorous framework for senior secondary education nationwide. These standards will ensure students receive a balanced education that builds essential knowledge, skills and competencies, fostering excellence across Nigeria's secondary school curriculum.
Senior secondary schools in this country will be given grace of time to comply fully with the minimum standards.
We actually have a system that is functioning at the moment, but there's always the need to have improvement in whatever thing you are doing.
The minimum academic standards, which will be officially launched in 2 weeks, focus on core subjects and emphasize critical thinking, analytical abilities and practical knowledge. The guidelines also set requirements for teacher qualifications, school facilities and educational resources, ensuring that every senior secondary school has the foundation tools to create effective learning environment. And the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru, has led service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police to commiserate with the family of the deceased Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Abiodun Lagbaja, at the Flag Staff House, Abuja, the official residence of the Chief of Army Staff. While funeral arrangements are yet to be announced, flags are flown at half-mast in all military, paramilitary and police formations. The spillover effects of the coup in Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso is beginning to surface as new terrorist sects have emerged, penetrating into Nigeria through the northwest and parts of the Sahel. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said these are the bi-weekly defense media briefing in Abuja.
Continue fighting this terrorist.
It is another bi-weekly defense media operations, and Director of Defense Media Operations briefs the media on the mandate of ongoing armed forces operations across the country. More worrisome to the defense headquarters is the emergence of a new terrorist sect, a product of the Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso coup, penetrating into Nigeria.
Troops are confronted with a new terrorist sect in the northwest, known as Lakurawa, affiliated to terrorists from the Sahel. This came as a result of the coup that took place in Niger Republic. We are going to put those terrorists at bay, and we are going to find and flush out those ones that have come in.
The defense headquarters notes that the demise of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Lagbaja, will serve as a reminder to keep his hope for a secured Nigeria alive.
His strong desire was for us to defeat the terrorists both on the battlefield and wherever, and bring peace back to citizens of this country. Rather than allow his passing away to derail us, we take motivation to go forcefully after these terrorists and defeat them.
Records from the defense headquarters show that in the month of October, troops neutralized 481 terrorists, arrested 741 of them, and 492 kidnapped victims regained their freedom.
Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has commended President Bola Tinubu's compassionate decision to release minors detained in connection with the August protests. This was shortly after the arrival of the children to Kano in the early hours of Wednesday. Abdullahi Mustafa has the report.
The children arrived alongside Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, who was welcomed by Deputy Governor Aminu Abdisalam and other members of the Kano State Executive Council at the airport. The children were transported to the Muhammadu Buhari Specialist Hospital, where family members eagerly awaited their return. Governor Yusuf expressed gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for his swift response to the pleas of Nigerians, emphasizing that the minors' unconditional release demonstrated the president's compassion and commitment as a father to all. Governor Yusuf urged the young returnees to reflect on their experiences and avoid unwholesome activities in the future. He assured them of the state government's full support, noting that efforts are already underway to help them reintegrate into society and resume their education. However, before reuniting fully with their families, all the 73 minors will undergo a week-long medical evaluation in isolation to ensure their health and well-being. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA.
Operational effectiveness is key to security, and personnel of Nigeria Police Force must prioritize that. To achieve this, the Nigeria Police Trust Fund has commenced a 4-day specialized training in intelligence-led policing and surveillance for personnel. Francis Form reports that the course is part of the broader vision under the renewed Hope Policing agenda.
The Nigeria Police Force, being the lead agency in internal security, is saddled with the responsibility of maintaining law and order, protection of lives and property, and the prevention of crime. To this end, the Nigeria Police Trust Fund, as part of its mandate, is equipping personnel with advanced skills in surveillance, data analysis, and intelligence gathering.
The course has been indeed expository and transformative. It has been able to equip us with current trends in modern day policing.
This course did not just enlighten us, but it helped us to carry out our duty, both with our discretion, law, and every other aspect of life.
The course emphasizes the importance of real-time data in detecting and preventing criminal activities.
The most important thing is that they are going to look at it from the police angle. The IG have mentioned it time and time again, cooperate with all other sister agencies. We cannot do it alone.
We are also teaching them the new methodologies, new techniques, how to ensure that we can curb it. Crime is possible to curb.
Going forward, Nigerians should see a better police force, a more efficient police force.
Francis from NTA News.
Now let's join our sport desk for sport update.
The Nigerian Customs women's basketball team showed great determination in the last quarter of their game against Societo Municipal de la Mine from Ivory Coast, clinching a 66-59 victory at the FIBA Africa Women's Basketball League Zone 3 qualifier taking place in Pennsville, Monrovia, Liberia. As the defending champions of the FIBA Zone 3 AWBL, the Nigerian Customs Service Basketball Club is set to face the Commissioners of Liberia in their final group match at the same location. In football, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has set an appearance fee of $150,000 for each of the 8 African women's football clubs competing in the CAF Women's Champions League Morocco 2024. This year, CAF raised the prize money by 52%, and Nigeria's representative Edo Queens is expected to receive $255 million for participating in the tournament.
Good prize money, and whenever the players are playing or the clubs are coming out, they know what they're coming out for. $150,000 for just participating is good enough.
The 2024 CAF Women's Champions League kicks off on Saturday across 2 cities in Morocco, featuring 8 clubs. In the Europa League, for the 2024-2025 season, Bundesliga team Eintracht Frankfurt will strive to maintain their strong European performance as they welcome Czech First League side Slavia Prague to Deutsche Bank Park on Thursday. Tottenham Hotspur seeks to secure their 4th straight win in the Europa League when they visit Rams Park in Istanbul, Turkey, to take on Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray. Meanwhile, last year's Conference League champions Olympiacos are set to battle Scottish giants Rangers, and Manchester United will aim for a crucial victory against PAO.
Well, that's it on Nationwide. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.